Taurus, November 2014, it's at that time again where I have a look at your horoscope, and I'm going to try to lift your spirits today. Let's not get too heavy. You know, we're nearing the end of the year and we want to hear some good news. Actually, I'm not pretending. I mean, I'm reading from the horoscope here. And what I do see is your ruling planet, the Sun, and Saturn all in the 7th house, which is what we call the public relations house, or as traditional astrologers call it, the zone of marriage. And we see especially too an even greater accentuation of that when Mercury moves into that 7th house later in the month, and that occurs around the 9th, a little into the second week. So your focus, your attention, your social activities are very much centered on other people. This could be a time when you travel, when you want to really get out there and mix, rather than sort of introvert your attention. You want to share what you have with the people around you, and that's a good thing. And those of you that are dealing in any sort of work that has to do with the public will find that this is a perfect time to, you know, approach prospective clients, to mediate between people. If you're working in a situation where there are difficulties between differing parties, this is a prime example of where your energies can be best directed right now. Your sales should be up. Your popularity should be up too, because we see the, you know, position of your ruling planet Venus in that 7th sector is a very strong one and a very, very positive one. We also see too, as the month commences, the Aquarian moon in your 10th house of career. And that gives you a bit more emotional drive and a bit more sensitivity to what's happening around you. Of course, Aquarius is the sign of, I guess, the group, the the bigger picture in terms of people. It's not so self-orientated. So you'll be able to pick up things around you by listening to people, by hearing what they have to say, and really being part of the team, I guess I would put it that way. We see some other important transits here. Of course, the Mars and Pluto combination that I've been talking about in the introduction video and to some of the other star signs is very, very pertinent for you, given that it's in the 9th sector of Capricorn. Now, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo are the earth signs. And it's well known that, you know, if there are any planets transiting these other earth signs, and they do have a very, very marked impact upon what's happening in your life, in your physical being as well. So you do have to be careful there, because even though this is what we call a friendly aspect, this is the type of aspect, Mars and Pluto, that this can be a violent aspect. It could be the sort of situation which happens often, I've seen, where people start out in a bit of a light-hearted manner discussing things, and then all of a sudden it starts to get a little bit out of hand. Someone says something and the other person reacts. And of course, this 9th sector is the sector of ethics and philosophical beliefs, religious views, to some extent politics. So be very, very careful of that, because what may happen there is that you may end up clashing with others, and that doesn't make you feel too good. And as I said at the beginning of your reading, I want this to be a feel-good situation, a feel-good month for you. And that's the beauty of astrology. We're able to give you a bit of an insight into what's happening there. That situation, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, that situation can soften a little bit when Venus moves to your 8th sector. And we see that on the 17th of November. That's a wonderful transit to deepen your affection with others. So let's say, for instance, that you have an argument or disagreement with your partner. This is that, I guess, classic kiss and make up transit. Venus also gives you the opportunity to reconcile any financial differences that you have. So I'd be looking out for that transit leading up to that period of the 17th. We see also the transit of the Sun moving into the vicinity of Saturn. We see the Sun moving into the vicinity of Saturn. Now that's a bit of a tough one. That can be a bit of a bittersweet situation. I've just mentioned that transit of Venus into the 8th house, but the Sun-Saturn combination is a very, very heavy, responsible type of energy. It's one that can devitalize you as well. But the nice thing about this is that it may only last for 5 or 6 days. It's a fairly quick moving transit, so you mustn't make too much of that. You'll probably find that the people around you that you're having so much fun with are starting to throw a whole lot of additional work on your plate. So you need to pace yourself and to let them know in no uncertain terms that, you know, you're not there to sort of carry the weight of everyone else. You've got to learn to say no pretty much during these sort of transits. Now we see the movement of the Sun into that 8th house as well. So the shift from your 7th house of what we call that public relations into the deeper psychological sector of your horoscope could indicate that you may tire a little bit of the superficialities during this next phase. And that's going to last for about a month, where you start to look a little bit more deeply into people, into their motivations, especially if there's money involved. You know, you're usually fairly frugal anyhow with money, but this is a time where you may discover some things about people that you'll be quite surprised about. But that's good, because then you can adjust yourself accordingly to those people. We see the transit of Mercury is also important. There are some hard aspects there around the 23rd. So communication could again bog down a little. You could say a little bit too much. It's best to maintain silence. And as the old saying goes, always say less than necessary. Sorry, I'm laughing because I really made a big boo-boo there, but you know, we edited that out. But you're just sort of getting the tail end of me laughing at myself on that. The final aspect that I see here, Taurus, is Mercury moving to the sign of Sagittarius. Again, the 9th house. This has a lot to do with communications with people at a distance, and also letters and writings, emails, correspondence, which may have to do with educational pursuits or litigation or bureaucratic matters. So fortunately, this planet is a friendly planet to you. So I guess ending on the note of all's well that ends well is something you can feel comfortable about for the month of November. And I do look forward to your company here next month. In the meantime, do drop in on astrology.com.au and you can get a transcript of this, have a look at the daily readings and the yearly readings as well. Till next month, take care. Bye-bye for now.